Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to guide you through this breakdown today because we're looking at something that directly impacts how you build, code, and operate every single day. We are unpacking the Claude Code 2.1.239 release. Now, right off the bat, you might realize this is a tooling release, not some massive new model drop, but honestly, do not let that fool you. In the world of development, your workflow is literally everything. And this update to Anthropic's terminal-based assistant is just incredibly important for streamlining your day-to-day operations. Okay, let's dive right into this. Over 40. You know, that 2.1.239 version number sounds deceivingly small, like a tiny blip, but it actually packs in over 40 bug fixes, platform expansions, and brand new features. We're going to break down exactly what these are, and more importantly, why they matter to your specific setup. Because, let's face it, ignoring tooling updates is exactly how developers get left behind in efficiency. To kind of frame our journey today, there's this great quote from the release notes. The version number tells you it's incremental, but the changelog is anything but small. I absolutely love this because it perfectly sets up what we're covering. Think of this explainer as your guide to a massive quality of life upgrade arc. These aren't just background tweaks. They are highly targeted adjustments designed to remove friction, squash those little annoyances, and just directly improve your workflow. Section 1. Upgrading workflow and wallets. So any technical audience cares deeply about two things: time and cloud bills. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, brings a grown developer to tears faster than a surprise AWS invoice, right? Well, imagine checking your API usage and realizing you were being billed twice for every single call. Super frustrating. But that was actually the reality for some users recently due to a Bedrock proxy billing bug. Basically, if you were running Claude Code behind a proxy that stripped out the content type response header, Bedrock streaming was silently failing. It was falling back to non-streaming mode and just rerunning every single turn. This silent failure meant every call was billed twice. The great news, this crucial fix is now live, stopping that silent wallet drain dead in its tracks. And speaking of wallets, there's also a massive win for transparency here, specifically for data residency users. Previously, if you used Claude Code in a workspace with data residency enabled, your cost estimates were actually missing a critical piece of math, the 1.1x US-only inference premium. It was just completely invisible in your terminal. But starting in 2.1.239, that changes. The /cost command, the status line at the very bottom of your screen, and the -- max budget USD flag all truthfully account for that premium now. What you see is exactly what you get charged. True transparency. Section 2. Python SDK migration simplified. So recently, Anthropic released a major new version of their Python SDK, version 1.x. Now, we all know migrating major versions can sometimes be a total headache, but Claude Code has stepped in to completely simplify this transition. If you've got projects sitting on the older 0.x SDK, you don't need to manually refactor everything. Claude Code literally automates the migration. Step 1 is super simple. Just run the /Claude API upgrade command right in your terminal, and it handles the heavy lifting. But step 2 is a vital detail to remember for your updated skill documents. There's a crucial shift in syntax required for timeouts. You absolutely must use Anthropic timeout now instead of the old HTTPX timeout. Keep that in mind, and your migration will be completely seamless. Moving on to Section 3, Platform Expansions and Plugin Clarity. A great terminal assistant needs to feel native and visually clear, regardless of what platform or backend you're running it on. Let's quickly rattle off these renderer expansions. Previously, certain setups were excluded from the highly requested full-screen renderer offer. Well, not anymore. Bedrock, supported. Vertex, supported. Foundry, you guessed it, supported. And if you're doing a fresh install on any of these platforms, the interface now starts in full screen by default. It's just a much cleaner, more immersive way to interact with your code right out of the box. Now, this next point is absolutely crucial for safety and clarity when managing your tools. There's a new naming convention, name at synced. This is the new super clear identity for plugins that are synced down from Claude.ai. You can safely toggle them using the enable or disable commands targeting that exact at synced tag. And this is a brilliant safety feature because it means a synced plugin from the cloud will never ever silently overwrite a plugin with the exact same name that you painstakingly installed and configured yourself locally. It keeps your custom environments perfectly intact. Section 4, Squashing Critical Bugs. Time for a rapid-fire round. All right, I love a good bug hunt, so let's hit the most annoying bugs that have finally been eliminated. First annoyance, JetBrains IDE terminals. If you were using the Claude Code plugin, edit and write file operations were causing this maddening 5-second pause. That is completely fixed. Second up, the web fetch memory leak. fetched page content was stubbornly hanging around in memory for your entire session. Because there's nothing quite like a memory leak to ruin a perfectly good Tuesday, right? Well, now it properly flushes out after its intended 15-minute window, giving you your memory back. And finally, security. Masked inputs, like your login code fields, were accidentally allowing text to be pasted back with Control-Y or even saved to your prompt history. Yikes. But that leak is plugged and those masked inputs are now fully secured. Let's finish this rapid-fire round with a quick look under the hood. For our enterprise users, if you were on Bedrock with an SSO profile and sitting behind an HTTPS proxy, Claude Code was just hanging its startup. The credential precheck now properly respects the HTTPS_proxy environment variable so you can boot up smoothly. For the Alpine Linux crowd, who use muzzle libc instead of glibc, native add-ons like image paste, clipboard, and audio capture were failing. Good news, those binaries are now correctly muzzle-built and load perfectly. And finally, Windows users now have feature parity with macOS and Linux when it comes to cross-session messaging. Send message and list agents now work flawlessly across your Windows Claude Code sessions. We have covered a ton of ground today, from stopping double billing to ensuring your passwords don't leak into your terminal history. So I want to leave you with this provocative question to ponder. Are you really getting the most out of your coding assistant? It's so incredibly easy to just install a tool, use its basic features, and completely ignore the update logs. But as we've seen today, staying on top of these incremental tooling releases is the true key to mastery. Understanding your tools inside and out allows you to code faster, cheaper, and a whole lot safer. If you want to dive even deeper into all of this, you can get the full detailed changelog over on GitHub. Or if you prefer some plain English guidance on navigating the entire Claude ecosystem, the complete manual is available for you at claudemaster.net. Thank you so much for joining me and engaging with this explainer today. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and I'll catch you on the next one.